Hello friends, in this session we are going to look into JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. Typically in any software project you would be performing some sort of database operation, whether it is your train ticket reservation or your social media website. Most of them would be using some sort of database like Oracle, MySQL or Postgres, which is available in the market. So for accessing these databases from Java is our main objective for this session. JDBC is an interesting topic. JDBC is a set of APIs that helps you access any tabular data source. But nowadays even non-tabular data sources are accessible via JDBC. So that is in latest versions, okay? But generally it will be in tabular form, meaning the data is stored in forms of table in database. And it can even be your simple Excel sheet as a data source or even a flat file, okay? So we will focus on accessing our MySQL database for our purpose. So this is a typical architecture. Every database vendor like Oracle or any other will have to provide JDBC driver with a common set of standards, okay, so that the developer's pain point will be drastically reduced. So this again normalizes the complexities of accessing different types of databases via Java programming, especially for data migration. So every vendor specific driver is developed follows the JDBC standards to maintain ease of access to their database, whether it is your Sybase or Oracle or MySQL database. So the general steps will be something like this. First, connections should be established, then JDBC statements should be created, then executing the SQL statements is needed, and sometimes getting the results, right? Then finally close connection. So let's now see this in action in our sample coding, okay? So always the first step is to load the database driver. I had already installed MySQL database in my system as part of PHP WAMP server. So let's see that now, okay? Let's open up the PHP myadmin and let's see that. So here we already have a test database created for our purpose. Inside that GUI table is to be accessed from our JDBC program, okay? So this is my host name, and to access that test database name we need this. So here the username is root and the password is empty, but in real-time projects you will definitely have some sort of a password that is already set. So we need a select statement from the GUI table. So here it is select username and password from the GUI table. So select username and password from GUI. If you look at in my main function, we have created an object and call this createCon function. So if you look at the first line will print MySQL connection testing, and then calling that MySQL driver. So if that is successful, then it will proceed further, okay, or else it won't be available, okay? So we have intentionally kept a bug there to test. So error exception, class not found exception. So always the first step is to get that JDBC driver. First we need to Google search it. So Google search that MySQL JDBC driver. So this is nothing but that driver that we mentioned in our diagram that we saw earlier, remember? So this is that MySQL driver, JDBC driver that we need to download. So this is the JDBC driver. I had already downloaded this. Okay, so let's use it and then proceed it. Okay, but one thing you need to note, you need to configure this driver. So for that configuring, first you need to go to that configure build path and then add external jar and select the downloaded JDBC driver. So this was the simplest way, so that's why I'm doing it. Okay, there are other ways obviously available. If you see the reference libraries, that it is already added now. So let's now run it and see. Yes, so it is successfully connected. MySQL JDBC driver registered successfully. So now we can access that database table. So first let's copy that sample code for that. So this is all very simple. Okay, so don't try to confuse and then get it complicated. So it's just straightforward coding, that's it. So JDBC is interesting, so we'll learn quickly. So let's see the steps again. Okay, so the first thing is to load the JDBC driver and get a connection from it, and then our database operation that we need to do. Okay, so we are going to select it. So step 3 is going to be getting the details, fetch details. So first create statement, like a SQL statement to select values from the database table. So it is select username password from GUI table, and we can also change the column name, like I mentioned it correctly. Okay, so it is always better to have the same column name mentioned. Select username password from GUI table, right? So this is the database table with 2 columns. Okay, so username and password, and the table is a GUI. So let's have the same column name here as well. Okay, for both the places, let's have it as user pass and username. Okay, so just to maintain consistency on naming. Okay, so basically first we need to create the statement and then execute the statement, which will give us the result set. Then using that iterator, just do next to get the values that we need. Okay, so when you run this now, oops, we did not call that function, that's why. So connection object dot fetch details, so that is the function that we are calling. So now it gives the result for us, GUI temp, and then GUI temp. So if you follow the simple steps, okay, like first initially loading the driver, and then creating connection, and then creating statement, executing the statement, and getting the result set, and iterating, then iterating the results, you will have the proper steps. Okay, so it is just a step by step methodology. Okay, so most of them will be missing out on configuring the JDBC build path, which is very common. So just be reminded on that. Okay, that is the only thing you need to be reminded of. So thank you friends, see you soon, bye.